Hello and welcome to the 18th episode of the Real Serious Podcast. As always, I'm your host Hunter along with Charles. Hey man,
Hey,
dude, this is sad. This is the first one we're not in the same house recording.
yeah, for anyone watching the YouTube, you'll see that Hunter, or my room is very familiar, but Hunter's room is it's kind of foreign. It's like it's a different place, and
Yeah,
it's
I'm
because
working on the background. I'm
Hunter's a
gonna get a better
scumbag who
background.
moved out.
Okay, you're also a scumbag who's moving out what in 2 days?
No, Henry moves out tomorrow. I move out on Friday, so 4 days.
Okay, so you're a scumbag who moves out in 4 days.
Yeah, but I wasn't the scumbag that moved out first, so
That is true. I'll give you that one.
that because that's John.
But I want to be home for Mother's Day. So sorry that I love my
That
mom.
yeah, that's a good call actually. I was so I went to a wedding this weekend with Jenna. It was Jenna's big sorority big sister's wedding. Um,
Pretty awesome.
and on the way back, Jenna and I like kind of had a plan to maybe go to my parents' house because we were up in Indy, so it would have been like another hour and a half, 2 hours to get up to my parents. But then like we figured if we left at like 10, we'd get to my parents at like 12:30 and then
Yeah.
leave at like 2
So
or
what's even the
2:30.
point?
And then it's like another 3.5 hour drive. And I was like, I'm just gonna see him next weekend anyway. And I'll get my mom some flowers and
Yeah, yeah,
get
she
some
doesn't
cribbage
deserve it right
thing.
away.
But what'd you do for your mom?
We just had like a outdoor day. She wanted to redo the whole backyard, so that's what we did. We power washed. We put all the stuff out. Really not the most fun thing, but she really loved it, so that's all that matters, I
That's all
guess.
that matters. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, what you been watching this week, man?
Dude, I've been pretty active, which is, I think I said I was going to be active after last week because graduation was last weekend and I haven't been doing anything. But, um, okay, I watched, stand by.
And
Okay, I watched Moana. I watched
yeah,
X2. I watched,
nice.
well, we went to go see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and I think we're going to review that later. I saw Fall Guy. And I saw Grease, um, and I caught up on The Boys. So I started The Boys, and of the 3 seasons, I'm like halfway through season two. So kind of
Okay.
sprinted. I'm kind of sprinting through that.
Nice, nice,
But yeah,
nice.
nothing was like. I mean, we'll talk
Do
about
you want to
Fall
give your
Guy
Fall Guy review? Yeah, give your Fall Guy review.
right now
People
at
have
the
been waiting.
beginning.
Yeah, people have been waiting, Chuck. You've been behind these last few weeks.
It came out last week.
What about the week before that? Who did the review by themselves again?
That was like a month ago.
This guy. This guy did it do by himself.
That was like a month. Um,
This guy had to do by.
I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I feel like to me this was like a 4 star lock, you know?
Okay.
Like this was a
Yeah.
very easy 4 star for me. I wasn't between like 4.5 or 3.5. It was like this is just like a very 4 star movie in my eyes. Um, I really liked it. I thought the action was super cool. I agree. I remember in your review you were kind or maybe not your review, but you were telling me about it and you were like it's really cool to see like like kind of what a behind the scenes looks like on a movie set and see what stunt people kind of deal with. And I thought it was
Yeah.
really neat. Um, Kind of like the behind the scenes directing. I think there were some choices that they made that I thought worked really well. Like at the beginning, to show Emily Blunt's character Jodie as a director, they didn't really like. Obviously, they mentioned that she was the director, but to kind of like put it into perspective, they had that like kind of 60-second sequence where she's like back and forth with all these people around the set. And I thought that was really cool and just kind of shows like what it's like being a director, especially like a first time, like you're super stressed. Um, but then like seeing her stress kind of come down when Cold comes was kind of like cool. Um, and like I don't know how to put it into words, but it like said a lot about the relationship without blatantly telling it, you know? Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Okay.
No,
Do
that
you
does.
do you
I
agree?
agree. I do. I
Okay.
do.
Um,
I also I like the controlled chaos it felt like when they went through the set. I like that
yeah.
a lot, like you mentioned.
Yeah, Jenna. So I went to go see it with Jenna and Henry. They both liked it as well. I was like, Henry, you like it? And he was like, yeah, it's probably like a 3 or 3.5. I'm like, okay. So he didn't like it that much, but um, Jenna was like, "Do you think that was like a legit set that they did when they had Emily Blunt's character, Jodie, or do you think they like made that set for that scene?" I was like, "I don't know, but I'm sure it was like inspired by
Yeah.
what a director goes through. Like I'm sure that the director was kind of like a stream of consciousness, like something that they have encountered before, just putting it on the screen. Whatever. I'm like getting into the weeds, but the there were a few parts that I was a little confused about. I didn't really understand how Ryan Gosling or Colt was just like a good fighter. Like, how does he know how to fight? He's just a stunt guy.
You stuntmen usually train in fighting because that's a big part of their stuff.
But do they like actually know how to fight?
Yeah, because they don't want to get hurt, so they actually have to know how to fight.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
I
I
see.
mean, think of like Jackie Chan movies. Like they all have to like be fighters.
Okay, fair. Henry thought it could have been a little shorter. I thought the duration was fine.
You went with
Um,
Henry?
yeah, I said I went with Henry and Jenna.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
I
That's lit.
literally said Henry. I asked Henry what he
I
thought, and he said three
I
to
didn't
three and
hear
a
that part.
half. What do you mean
I
you
didn't
didn't
hear
hear
that
that
part.
part? Was
Listen, I
someone
was doing something.
spacing?
I was doing something.
Okay.
I was doing something important. Sorry. Sorry to cut you off.
I'm trying to think like what would have made it a 4.5 or a 5. Um, honestly, I don't really know. I thought the humor was great. Like this was one of
I
those
gave it a four
movies.
and a half.
Yeah, I saw your review. Um, I feel like once you get into like the 4.5 or the 5, it's like it's either movies that are like just all me, like I'm like super into, or movies that are objectively
Yeah.
like incredible.
Hmm.
So like maybe that's what's keeping it from a 4.5 or a 5. But like humor is great, acting is great. I love Aaron Taylor Johnson. I think he's one of my favorite actors for whatever reason. He
He was
wasn't
very
even
funny in this movie.
yeah, he wasn't even in it like a whole lot. But I really like him. Yeah, good movie though.
I
Jenny gave it
agree.
a 4 as well. She was like a huge fan of it. I think we're going to see challenges this week as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Also, I just looked. The last three reviews I did by myself. So, this guy. This guy, yeah. It was a month ago. It was the last three in a row. So it's been a month of them.
you have to think about what we've been doing the past month. It's been a little 5. It's been graduation.
And I put the hours in. I put the
It's
time in.
been yeah, okay. Well,
I put in that work
you
when
are
no one
better.
else was watching.
You are better than me. What have you been watching?
Yeah. Thank you so much for asking. I really do appreciate it. Um, I watched X-Men, X2, and X3, The Last Stand. X2 is the best, but honestly, X-Men surprised me, the first X-Men. I watched King of the Planet of the Apes, which we'll talk about later. I watched X-Men Days of Future Past to kind of continue on my X-Men
I
streak.
also watched that. I forgot to.
And then The Bourne Identity I watched last night, and honestly, kind of rocked. I'm excited to watch the next one later today.
Um, let me
Jesus
make sure I
Christ,
didn't
it's
miss
Jason
any.
Bourne.
Dude,
Also, I've been watching a lot of shows, so I'm going to review the shows later, I think. We'll do the review later.
okay. I watched Grease. Have you seen Grease?
The Zac Efron Grease?
No. John
Oh,
Travolta.
I'm thinking of Hairspray. Yes, I've seen Grease with John Travolta.
It is interesting.
I don't really like it.
It's very interesting. I don't know if I like it either. There are some musicals that I'm like, I love musicals. It was just kind of weird. Like, there's so much weird about it and so much that didn't make sense. First of all, everyone looks 30 plus years old. That's for
Yeah,
starters.
they do. Yeah,
Um, then, like, also the storyline, it's like you have this, like, very sweet girl who moves schools, and you have this greaser who's, like, not an asshole, but puts on the facade that he's an asshole.
that is the plot of Grease, yes.
And then, but like the end of the movie, it's like throughout the movie, Sandy's like super like like dramatic and makes a huge deal out of everything, and Danny's like objectively kind of an asshole to her.
Okay.
And then he sings
Yeah.
a song about her, and he's all sad after he like tries to grab her chest and makes a move and like totally disrespects her. Um,
Yeah.
Then he sings a sad song about her. Then he races and he wins, and Sandy's all happy. And then Sandy conforms to the greaser lifestyle and puts on that outfit. And everyone's like, oh my God, she's a greaser now. And that's the movie. And it's like, why would she conform when he was an asshole?
Because they had that summer together. They were summer loving happened so fast.
I know. It was just odd. And then they flew off in a car.
Yeah, they fly away.
They
They fly
literally
away.
flew away in a
Yeah,
car.
they fly away. What do you want
That
them to do?
made no
Drive away?
sense. Whatever. I
They
gave it three
fly away. It's
stars.
awesome. You know they have a Grease 2 that stars Michelle Pfeiffer,
Who's Michelle Pfeiffer?
Catwoman from the Tim Burton Batmans.
Oh,
Also the mom in Ant-Man and the Wasp and Ant-Man and Quantumania.
oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I know. Cool, cool, cool.
Very cool, very cool. All right. Hey, want to get into some news?
Let's do it.
We don't have a ton of news, but we have some good news, I think. Uh, so they're making a Matchbox movie. Mattel saw the excitement that was around Barbie and said, "Hey, let's make some more of our stuff." And they're making a Matchbox movie that gets Extraction's Sam Hargrave as director, which honestly wasn't excited until I read the words Extraction Sam Hargrave as director because I love those two movies. Sign me up.
All right. I haven't seen those movies,
I
but
feel like you were more of a Hot Wheels guy.
I was,
Are
yeah.
you a Hot Wheels guy?
I was a big.
I think
I
most
had
people
the
are Hot
big.
Wheels.
I had the big Hot Wheels case. Um,
I feel like Matchbox was like very lame.
Matchbox cars were a thing when we weren't alive.
Matchbox cars are still a thing. You can literally buy them.
I know, but they were really big like when my dad was a kid because my dad has a bunch of old Matchbox cars.
I think. Well, isn't Matchbox more like actual cars versus like um
Maybe,
Hot
yeah.
Wheels has like the weird cars too?
You mean the epic cars? They're not
Well,
weird.
they have, like the Batmobile and like stuff like that. It's
Is
Hot
that
Wheels.
weird or epic?
Well, I meant more like not real cars.
Yeah, I think Hot Wheels appeals to more creativity, and Matchbox are just like little cars. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, I'm excited because I think some of
All
the
right.
driving sequences in Extraction are awesome. So I'm excited for that.
Sweet.
That's all that really. I don't know. Not much. This one's for you, Lord of the Rings, baby. All right. Explain to me this what you think this movie's gonna be about. So it's called The Hunt for
Um,
Gollum. Comes out in 2026. Peter Jackson to produce, Andy Serkis to star and direct. What's
so
going on here?
I have two guesses about what it's going to be about. One I think is a lot more likely than the other. The two guess and in two different times. One time or like one guess is the search for Gollum. It's while Frodo has the ring and Mordor, the people in Mordor are looking for Gollum to basically torture him for information. And so like
Hmm.
that search, but I don't think we're going to be following an antagonist, you know? Like
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be following orcs to try to find Gollum to torture him. Like that doesn't really sound like a movie. What I think it's going to be is in the Fellowship. It's a pretty brief sequence, but they talk about how they're like going through the timeline of the ring. So like obviously Sauron had the ring, Isildur cut it off, Isildur had the ring. He gets killed, ring falls in the bottom of a lake. Then
Yes. I got that.
Smeagol, who becomes Gollum, finds the ring, has it for like 500 years or something. I don't know, I haven't read that far. And then he loses the ring in a cave and Bilbo finds it, right?
Yes.
So somewhere between the time that Bilbo finds the ring and keeps it in The Hobbit until the meeting in Rivendell, Aragorn and Gandalf go on a search for Gollum. Okay, basically like
Okay.
find him, learn about the ring, learn about like his time with the ring because they want to like figure out the timeline. They find Gollum and they take him to no, it wasn't Rivendell, maybe Mirkwood. They take him to some elven kingdom. I think it's Mirkwood, and they keep him as prisoner there, and then he escapes with like a
Okay.
bunch of orcs. So I think the search for
Gotcha.
Gollum might be about that, and it's like kind of like a Rogue One in Star Wars. You know, like how that what
Yeah,
that
yeah,
movie was to
yeah.
Star Wars. I think this will be like that for Lord of the Rings, where it's like Aragorn and Gandalf looking for Gollum, find him, take him back to Mirkwood.
So you think they're
Um,
gonna be in it?
I doubt Ian McKellen's in it, and I doubt Viggo Mortensen is in it, but I bet it's about those two. Yeah.
Okay. Because I had a different thought for what I wanted from this movie, and I feel like it's very different from what you just said.
Well, I'm just going based off of like what's in the book, and that's like a
No,
really
I
brief.
understand. Yeah, no, you're probably correct. I was just thinking like I would like a story of like it follows Smeagol for a while, and then he finds the ring, and it's like about the ring finally corrupting someone. Because we never really got that in the movies of like the ring fully corrupting someone.
We got it briefly at the beginning of Return of the King because we see Gollum get the ring and what he looked like
But I
before.
want that as the movie. I want that whole thing in the movie. I think that'd be really interesting.
Yeah, I just don't really know like what would happen in the
Neither do
movie.
I.
Like what are his feats, you know? It's just him getting like he goes in a cave for a really long time.
Maybe it's just a one-man show, him in the cave, just
Maybe it's
slowly
just Andy
falling apart.
Serkis and it's like one
He has like
set in a
3 hours of him
yeah.
just deteriorating.
I
That
wouldn't
would be
mind
pretty.
the the one with like Aragorn and Gandalf. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Um, and then like the end of the movie is him escaping or something.
Yeah.
Because that was like also the problem. They wanted to keep him because if like Mordor got him, then they're kind of capped. I don't know. You know what? I could also see more info or more stuff about Gollum as I keep reading, but that's just like all I've seen. That like could be like the search for Gollum.
But hey, Lord of the Rings is back.
Hopefully,
Who's- Two things now. We get this and this, the animated at the end of this year, and then the 2 years later we'll get Gollum.
the War of Rohirrim.
Also, the Prime show I think has a trailer coming out tomorrow. So
Mm.
yeah. Okay.
I'm
Okay,
happy
buddy.
that it's directed by Peter Jackson.
It's not directed by Peter Jackson.
What? I thought it was.
It's directed by Andy Serkis. It's
No,
produced by
he's
Peter
in
Jackson.
it.
No, it's directed and starred by Andy Serkis. It's produced by Peter Jackson.
Okay, I still don't mind that then. I like that.
Well, you know what Andy Serkis just directed?
What?
Venom 2. Let there be carnage, baby.
Okay.
Yeah! The director of Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, brings a new entry in the Lord
He
of the Rings
knows.
universe.
I think he knows the Gollum character though, and he obviously
Yeah,
knows Lord of the Rings. He's been in every. Was he in the Hobbit movies?
I think he was in one of them. Because I think Gollum shows up in one of
Yes,
them.
he was. He was
Because
in.
Bilbo has to take the ring from Gollum.
He was in Unexpected Journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he was. Okay,
Well, moving on to
moving
something
on.
that I know more about. Batman Cape Crusader premieres later this year it premieres in August on Amazon Prime, and it is the animated series about Batman set in the 1950s. It comes to us from actually an awesome crew. So J.J. Abrams, Matt Reeves are both kind of together on this animated series, and I really like this idea because it's Batman like in the 40s and 50s where he doesn't have a lot of technology. So it's like
Yeah, that's
Batman without
cool.
the gadgets, which is I think would be really awesome. We don't know the voice of Batman just yet, I don't think. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Um, but there's a couple of other things about this that I really find interesting. They talked about their Harley Quinn, and I actually like this idea. So they talked about how Harley Quinn went from like a very serious doctor to becoming like the jokester Harley Quinn. So they said they reversed it. So she was more of a fun, like happy-go-lucky doctor, and now she's a very serious Harley Quinn, which I actually like that idea quite a bit.
I did too.
Um, but overall, I really like this. I just am really weirded out that it's not on Max. This feels like it should be on Max, right? Why?
You
Why is it on Amazon
always
Prime?
say like, I feel like this show should be on Max. This is a Max show.
Well, Batman is owned by WB, and WB owns HBO Max. So I
Uh,
don't get why it's on Amazon Prime. Like Batman and is owned by Warner Brothers, which Warner Brothers is
maybe
Max.
Amazon paid a pretty penny.
That's a possibility. I just think it's weird. But
Oh well,
I'm in on it. I'm in on this show. I'm excited
sick.
for it. Amazon Prime animated shows have not failed me yet, so we'll have to wait and see.
That's actually very true.
Amazon
Am-
Prime has some good stuff.
Amazon Prime has some very good shows. What if I mean
I
Invincible,
mean,
The
I put
Boys
it number two. I put Amazon Prime number two for quality.
behind HBO?
Yeah, I
What
mean
else is
it's HBO.
Amazon? I know I've seen more shows on Amazon Prime.
Invincible, Invincible,
Boys.
The Boys, Reacher, which I really like. Um, they had was it Fleabag, Fallout, which was great. Um, Lord of the Rings, which I know you didn't watch,
Did
but Gen V.
is Fallout getting renewed for another season?
Yes, I think two seasons actually.
Oh, oh,
Oh, are we back?
seems like it.
So yeah, I think that'll be good. I'm excited for that show. All
Sweet.
right. Ted 2. Ted season 2 is coming to Peacock. I don't know if you ever watched Ted. I really like that show.
Yeah, I
I
watched
just want
Ted.
to mention. Oh yeah, you did watch it. Well, season 2, we're back.
Sweet.
Um, yeah. Godzilla X Kong 3 confirmed to be happening with the writer of Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh,
I think we both liked Godzilla X Kong 2. Um, and this next one I guess will be bigger and badder than ever. I just think focus less on the humans and more on them beating each other up, and we're good to go. Yeah,
agreed. Less dialogue, more fighting.
yeah.
Also, less
Frank.
random like queen of the
Yeah, she's
underworld.
not the queen of Hollow Earth. Not really interested in that. Frank Grillo joins Peacemaker season 2 as Rick Flag Sr. Frank Grillo probably best known for being in the MCU. He was what's that guy's name? Whatever. He
In
was
what
someone in the
movie?
MCU. He was in Winter Soldier and Civil War. He was the main guy in the elevator scene, and he was also the guy who
Oh,
blows up at the beginning of Civil War
oh,
to create
Crossbones.
this. Yes, great pull right there. So yeah, he's playing Rick Flag Sr.,
Cool.
and he's also going to be in Creature Commando as Rick Flag Sr. So I wonder if he'll be old in season 2 of Peacemaker, but we'll have to see. I really like Peacemaker season 1, so I'm excited for season 2.
Cool.
That's all I gotta say. Um, Brad Pitt Formula One movie. So this Brad Pitt Formula One movie is it's from Joseph Kosinski, who was Top Gun Maverick, along with Tron Legacy and a few other movies that I really like Oblivion. This movie has now spiraled to become a $300 million movie, which
Woof.
is honestly insane to say out loud that it cost $300 million for that movie to exist. Um, I don't know how it's gonna make the money back unless it's like incredible, which I really hope it is, but $300 million for an F1 movie is tough.
How much was Gran Turismo?
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo. Let's see.
I feel like that's a good compare, like comparable.
Yeah.
You don't have the star power of Brad Pitt, but
Um, $60 million. So
Jesus.
a fifth.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's tough.
Gran Turismo. I don't know. $300 million. This movie
That's a
better
lot of
be
money.
incredible.
Yeah.
And then two pieces of news left about MCU. Let's start with the Fantastic Four one because I think that's really cool. So Fantastic Four added some new people to their cast. We talked about last week Paul Walter Hauser joining in an unknown role, but this week we also got John Malkovich in an unknown role and Galactus.
Hmm.
Ralph Eisen is Galactus.
So how do we think that
This
how do we think they're gonna do that though? Like, are we gonna see his face, or are they gonna CGI Galactus and then just make him the voice?
I think it's going to be his face. I think they're going to do it like this, they did in the Celestials in Eternals, but just have it be his actual face with the mask on.
Okay.
Because his voice is awesome.
Right.
He's got a great voice.
Sweet. Huge.
Um, but also it's weird because like this movie is confirmed to take place in a different universe. It seems like, especially like in the 1950s, but like a different universe. So it's like they come over to our universe by the end, which seems like it's kind of setting up for in the incursions in Secret Wars. So will this be the same Galactus we get to see in the main MCU? Will it be a different Galactus? I assume it's going to be the same. Maybe this Galactus will follow them through to our universe. We'll have to wait and see, but I am beyond excited for this movie. The only thing that I'm a little concerned about is that this movie doesn't start filming till the end of July, and it releases a week, 2 weeks after Superman, which has been filming for 2 months now. So it's like, what are we doing here? Yeah, Fantastic Four, you're not going to give enough time maybe to film?
It's not releasing
I
this
don't know.
year, right? It's next year.
It's next year, but
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I don't know, I'm a little worried about that. I'll be honest.
They'll figure it out. They'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last piece of news from John Watts, who directed the first three Spider-Man movies of the MCU. He had some advice for the new director of Spider-Man 4. He said, "It looks like a monkey swinging on a vine when you put someone on just a rope. Don't waste your time. That's my advice to the next Spider-Man director." John Watts, I have some advice for you. Don't open your mouth if you're going to have the worst swinging sequences in the entire franchise, and then tell someone else how to make the swinging sequences, because that is a clown activity if I've ever heard one. He was getting flamed online for that, which honestly I don't blame people, because the Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2, they did actual practical swinging, and it looked incredible. So maybe don't maybe don't open your mouth when it comes to swinging when you are known for having the worst swinging in the entire franchise. But yeah, I just wanted to clown him a little bit because that is a crazy take to have, in my personal opinion.
All right.
Hey, hey, want to talk some trailers, man?
I actually have a piece of news that I added.
Oh, what'd you add?
I don't know. Okay, this is just something I read, but I read that Channing Tatum's Gambit is going to be very
In Dead
involved in
in
Deadpool.
Deadpool. I've heard that as well.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So from my understanding, Channing Tatum has tried to make for this Deadpool, like I mean not Deadpool, this Gambit movie for like a decade, which is crazy.
I think he'd be so good as Gambit. I think that'd be such a cool Gambit.
Because there is a very famous photo of the X-Men on stage at San Diego Comic-Con when they first announced Deadpool 2, and Channing Tatum comes out and announces his Gambit movie. And he's in a Gambit t-shirt and it just never was made. Which is just hilarious.
I'd be so into Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Yeah, there's also another one. So there's another photo they took of the X-Men cast, Deadpool, and Fantastic Four casts. So there was the Fantastic Four of Fan Four Stick, and it's Deadpool, Wolverine. It's the X-Men Apocalypse cast, and just right in the middle of it is Channing Tatum in a Gambit t-shirt. And it's kind of sad to look at because it's like the failure of a universe before it even began, which is crazy.
Well, if we can make this happen, I'd be pretty into it.
Yeah, maybe.
Or not? Okay.
I don't know. I just don't know what you do with a Gambit movie. Just put Gambit on the X-Men.
No, I didn't say Gambit movie. I said if he can play Gambit and be in Deadpool 3, I'd be very into it. Or that's what I meant to say.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I think he will be. I think he will be.
sweet. All right, now we
Because
can
I
talk
don't think.
trailers.
Okay.
What were you
Quiet
gonna
Place
say?
Day One. Quiet. No, no, no. I was just thinking if we ever had a live action Gambit. And remember we did in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
We did, yeah.
Quiet Place Day One. I don't think this trailer really gave us anything additional from the first trailer, which I'm actually happy about. But I'm excited to see this movie. I think it looks great.
Don't really have
I know
a.
you're probably not that into it. Yeah,
I just haven't seen The Quiet Place. I'll probably see him before this movie. Because I feel like this isn't like horror. You know, it's more like a thriller.
it's a thriller. It's more
Yeah.
thrillery.
Um,
Especially,
yeah.
I think the first two Quiet Places are not very scary. They just have very good suspense,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, of the two trailers we have on here, like that's definitely. I'm way more excited for that movie than the second movie.
Nah,
This
you
second,
lying.
this
No,
second
you
movie is
lying.
a stinker.
Oh, you're lying. Okay, moving on to the second movie. Twisters, baby. Let's talk Twisters. Yes,
You only
I am.
like this because it's Gun Powell.
No, I'm not because of a few reasons. Let me tell you why. Why don't I break it down for you? First and foremost, it is filmed entirely on film. This is not filmed with digital cameras, and it looks incredible. All right, it looks so good because it's filmed on actual film. That is number one. Number two, we haven't had a big summer blockbuster that's not like comic booky in a minute, and this is the one.
You
And
think
I think
this
it's
is a
gonna be.
blockbuster movie?
Oh yeah, I think this is gonna make prediction time. I'm gonna put this in the above $800 million. Yeah,
No
I am.
way.
I'm thinking this is gonna be the big. I think this is gonna be the Top Gun Maverick of this year. I think this is gonna be huge.
No way.
I think this is gonna be a huge movie. Yes.
All right, I'll take the other side of that then. I'll say less than. I don't want to put myself in a box. I'll say less than 600.
I think it's yeah. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win on this.
All
I think
right.
this is gonna be incredible. I'm very excited for this. People seem to be excited for this
My one, I think I'm hating the most on this movie because there's an actor in it that I do
because
not.
I like it.
I do
Because
not.
I like it.
That's
Say
not
the
why.
actor. Who do you not like? Who do you
I
not like?
forget his name. He's in Hamilton.
Oh, what?
He's like the
You don't
freckly
like
dude.
Anthony Ramos?
I don't like him. It
Did you
and that
what?
could just be I've seen like really bad roles for him, but everything I've
Did you
seen,
watch? Have you seen what's the In
Aquaman,
the Heights?
in the Heights.
Aquaman.
I've seen him in two things, in Aquaman, and I've seen him in
He is
Dumb,
just not in Aquaman.
maybe the second Aquaman. I don't know.
He is in Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, Dumb Money, In the Heights,
Let me
and
see.
he has a small role in Godzilla King of the Monsters. What are you saying?
What movie was it?
This guy hating on someone he doesn't even know. Unbelievable. Well,
He
I'm
was in
excited because we
something
got
that it was a brutal watch. And in Dumb Money, I hated his role, so I just don't really like him that much. But maybe
well,
watching this movie will change that.
I'm excited because I'm excited for Glenn Powell, my king. We get to see Superman early, David Cornsweet. I like Anthony Ramos. I also think Brandon Pera is very good. Katie O'Brien, who I like in everything, is in this. So, oh, and Daisy Edgar Jones, who is the star. I think this is going to be so good. I cannot wait. So, hate all you want, but I'm in.
This is me. Happy for you.
Thank you. I think this is going to be a big surprise for you. I think you're
All
going to
right.
like this a lot.
All right. I hope so.
All right, let's get into reviews. The first few things are me related just because I watched them and I don't think you watched them. Smiling Friends, season 2 premiered last night, gave us 2 episodes. The Mr. President and Gwimbly. Mr. President was great. I thought it was a great episode. I was really worried they were going to jump into politics. They kind of didn't. They just made fun of the whole idea of politics versus like a specific side, which I think was smart. And then Gwimbly was great. So this season's off to a great start. Smiling Friends is near and dear to my heart, so I'm excited to kind of get back into it.
Shout out Henry.
And then, yeah, shout out Henry. Did you guys watch it last night or no?
No, we went to see Fall Guy.
Well, it started at. Why does my camera keep turning off? It started at midnight, so I think you could have watched it after Fall Guy, but.
I was at Jenna's house.
Oh, okay. Maybe Henry watched it then. And then Doctor Who. Doctor Who is back. So we had the Christmas special, Church on Ruby Road. Doctor Who is a long running series. I know it's probably not for most people, but I absolutely love it. I've been obsessed with it since probably 2011. No, 2008. Um, and it's so to see
You've been
Ncuti
obsessed with it
Gatwa.
since you were 6 years old.
Yeah,
How'd
I
you
love
even
this
know?
show.
How'd you know what anything meant when you were in second grade? No, you were in first grade.
What do you mean? It's a very simple concept. Spaceman in police box goes on adventures.
Okay.
It's a show for children.
I feel like I was deciphering SpongeBob when I was 6 years old, but
Well, we had BBC America, so I would turn on Doctor Who. Also, 2008 is not that long ago. That was the first Iron Man. So like, I went to theaters and saw that, and I thought it was awesome.
you went to see Iron Man 1 in theaters when you were 6 years
Yes,
old.
yeah.
Okay.
My grandfather took me.
Did you understand anything in it?
Yes.
Okay.
What? Red guy must beat up gray guy. Iron Man 1.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
All right.
Anyway, getting back to what I was saying. The first two episodes I think are great. It's on Disney Plus now, so it's kind of like the budget's increased a little bit, and I'm really excited for this new era of the show. I think probably the second episode I liked more, but I think that the serious moments are really where the show kind of shows off what its talent is versus the silly, goofy moments. But it's Doctor Who, so it's gonna be cheesy. It's gonna be fun, and I think next week's episode is gonna be even better because it seems very serious, which is exciting for me. So,
Yes.
um, who's back? This guy.
Yes.
This guy's back. Yes, yes, we're still back. Also, in 2008, I would be 7 years old, so
You'd be 7 in the last 3 months of the year.
still be seven.
Okay.
So, also, Doctor Who usually premieres in the fall. This is a weird time premiering in the spring, so I would have been seven.
Okay. Okay. Smart guy.
Yeah, yeah. All right, and then X-Men '97. We had episode nine.
Rocks.
Yeah, episode nine, Tolerance is Extinction Part 2. So in this episode, Magneto attack on Earth sets off an extinction level event. They split the X-Men into two groups, got new suits, and now there's a civil war kind of within the team. This episode was awesome.
Yeah.
At the end, Wolverine, adamantium, pulled out of his body by Magneto. Honestly, Cyclops kind of fumbled the bag, could have ended it, but he chose to hopefully save Jean from Cable, who was being manipulated by Mr. Sinister. And and Magneto's helmet is now on Charles Xavier, so he can't communicate to anyone, which is pretty cool.
That was a pretty crazy move.
Yeah, that was a good move actually. We got a cameo from the Hulk, which is awesome because of Morph. Um, I think my only complaint about this episode was I feel like Storm was kind of nerfed a little bit. Besides that, felt pretty good about it. I
What
liked it. I
team
think
is
this was
she
a
on?
great. Storm is on the ground team in the jungle.
Okay.
Because there's the space team, which is Jubilee, um, Wolverine,
Cyclops
Nightcrawler, Cyclops,
and
Beast.
Professor X.
No, Beast on the ground team, and Professor X. And then there's the ground team, which is um, the Techno
Jean.
guy, Jean Grey, Storm,
Cable.
Morph, Cable, and Beast. So pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm excited for next week. I think that like the finale is gonna be great. And this episode kind of inspired me to watch a lot of the other X-Men movies, and it's just so amazing how differently the team is handled here versus the movies. And like, I think the movies are fine, but then you watch this and you're like, this is the X-Men. That is not the X-Men, and
Yeah.
it's a shame to see. Especially, dude, Cyclops. Wow, just unbelievable. Gets no love.
You're a bigger Cyclops guy than I am.
Well, I think he's great, so yeah, I am. Right. But yeah,
Okay, if you were to
all right.
pick your top 3 X-Men, who would they be? In order.
Do they have to be X-Men or can they be mutants?
Um, let's go X-Men.
Okay, so they have to be on the team. I would probably go Cyclops, Wolverine, and probably Storm. Yeah, probably Storm.
Okay.
What would you go, man?
Probably Beast, Storm, Wolverine.
Yeah, big Beast guy.
I really like Beast.
Yeah, Beast is
Big
cool.
fan. Big fan of
Beast
Beast.
is cool.
Cool guy.
But yeah, we got one episode left, and then we're back in this. We gotta wait for next season. And then that's the last Marvel thing until Deadpool, and then I think we only have one more thing the rest of the year. Did they was Echo this year?
No, last
Echo was
year.
last year.
Yeah, last fall I think.
Okay, so the only other things left for this year is Agatha, the Darkhold Diaries, which okay,
Bruh.
Deadpool, Wolverine, and then the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man TV show,
Ooh.
which is the animated show. It's like a prequel to the MCU movies.
What what would your top three mutants be?
Um, probably probably still no. I'm gonna go with Magneto, Cyclops, Mystique, then Wolverine. I really like Mystique. I think Mystique is really cool.
Cool.
But yeah, all right, you want to talk some apes?
Sure.
All right, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Many years after the reign of Caesar, a young ape goes on a journey that will lead him to question everything he's been taught about the past to make choices that will define a future for apes and humans alike. 2024, Wes Ball, who is doing the upcoming Legend of Zelda movie, live action, and he brought us the last Maze Runner movies. I thought this was awesome. Before we kind of give our thoughts, though, this was the biggest Apes movie ever, opening weekend wise.
Really?
Number one. Yeah,
Oh,
after a 7 year wait with no connection to previous movies,
that's pretty
biggest one,
cool.
which is awesome because I think that the future of this Apes franchise is very strong after the ending, which we'll talk about later. We get spoilers, but what are your thoughts on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes?
I liked him. Um, I gave it I gave it 3.5. Um, and primary reason I gave it 3.5 was I thought it ran a little long. I mean, it takes like an hour for us to like actually meet the villain,
Hmm.
which I thought was like I kind of like to know who the villain is early on. Just that's like personal preference though, and I know it's like with this one we just didn't really get it for a while. I think the CGI or whatever, or the effects were awesome. I think can you say acting was good? Like it is
Yeah.
acting, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No, dude, the acting was incredible.
Yeah, I think acting was great. It was a cool story too. The villain was a cool villain. Yeah, like
So much
my main harp
mysticism.
with it though is it just ran kind of long. I also would have liked if that guy that this is a spoiler, but that one monkey or orangutan that we met with May and Noah. What was his name?
Oh, Raka.
Yeah, Raka. Kind of bummed that he died. Like I don't think he needed to die. That was like a very I feel like that wasn't a very impactful death. You know, like they didn't really like bring him up enough to make it like super impactful. And I was like, why do you have to die there? Um, but yeah, it's a good movie. I would like out of these movies eventually, maybe it doesn't have to be this trilogy if it's even going to be a trilogy. I want to somehow tie in with the old ones, with like the astronaut coming back to Earth. I want
I'm
that to.
telling you, that's how this trilogy is going to end. I'm
I really
convinced.
want them to acknowledge that at some point because, like, I think it's a pretty neat idea, and it's like the original. So I think that they should like kind of tie it back. I thought this movie. I told you. I thought this movie, the way it was going, I thought that they were going to acknowledge it at the end.
Mhm.
They ended it in a more kind of mysterious way that we don't really know what's going to happen. Like you said, it's kind of like the Earth's up for grabs now. Like the humans are starting to get enabled to take it back, you know. Um,
Yeah,
so I thought it was going to tie back. It didn't. I just hope that it eventually does.
yeah.
But
Um,
good movie. It's
I
my
agree.
number five of the year.
Oh,
We
you moved
should
Fall Guy.
we should go through
Top
our
five
yeah,
at
our
this point
updated
because we're
rankings.
we're about what 2/5 into the year,
Yeah, I
a little more than that.
have. You probably have like 25 films. I only have 17 right now.
All right. So yeah, I'll give my thoughts real fast. So I really love King of the Planet of the Apes. I think actually sitting with it afterwards, I liked it more than when I just first came out of it. I think the themes that are explored are really awesome. I think May is a great character. I really like Noah, especially kind of after like how do you fill the shoes of Caesar. Noah, I think, does it very, very well. I love kind of the time skip because it gives like that, you know, the Earth has been reclaimed not only by the apes but also by like nature that's taken over like the buildings and everything. Um, I love the exploration of kind of like the fascination with humans that like Proximus has because he's obsessed with humanity and humans and wanting to know more and more about them, and that's why he has people like May who are the smart humans to be able to like tell him about humanity and read for him. Also, you kind of see the starting of the apes becoming more and more human-like. A few of the apes that are more intelligent wear clothing, which I think is clearly a sign of what's to come. And I think it's also a great film. We've had two big movies this year about religion, Dune 2 and now this. And I think they both handled it really well because what I like about this movie is it's kind of like the way that religion changes over time, and you get like subsets within the religion. So for like Planet of the Apes, it's the religion of Caesar and apes together strong, and then you have the two subsets, which is more of the traditionalist mindset, which is Raka, and then you have the other mindset, which is the control and forcing apes to be together strong, and that's Proximus. And I think it's a very interesting kind of look into what that society becomes. I'm excited to see the future of this. I think that the last 20 minutes, honestly, are I think are really well done. It kind of establishes Noah as like this person who can fill those shoes of Caesar and inspire. But also May, I think, is a very dynamic character that I'm excited to see again. Um, but yeah, I think this is really well directed. I'm excited for now Legend of Zelda more than I ever was because of West Ball. And the world building I think is really well done. I do agree it runs a little long. However, I don't know what I would cut because I was trying to think of that like what I
That's
would cut
fair.
out, and I don't know what I would cut. I almost think that it's gonna sound weird, but I think if you had like more energy to a few of the scenes, it wouldn't have felt as long because the pacing would have been a little bit more. But I did love the exploration of Noah's kind of people before the movie flipped that on its head. Um, all right, let's do our top five of the year, and then we'll get into spoiler review because I want to talk about the ending and kind of where we think this is gonna go.
Okay.
All right, so you want to do top five of the year or what?
Sure, we can do top five because after five it drops off pretty quick. Um,
See, mine doesn't. I don't. Mine doesn't really drop until I get to number 11. 12.
Mine drops off at six.
What do you consider the drop off?
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is my five.
Okay.
Beekeeper is my six.
Oh, I really like Beekeeper. So Beekeeper is not a drop off for me.
Okay, Roadhouse is seven.
Okay, I see the drop off now. Yep. Between Beekeeper and Roadhouse, I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight movies between Beekeeper and
You
Roadhouse.
also didn't like Roadhouse as much as I did, to be fair.
Correct. Correct.
But after Roadhouse,
All
it's
right.
it's One Love, then Godzilla and Kong, then Arthur the King. So,
Oof. All right, give me your top five.
okay. Five, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Four,
Okay.
Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
All right.
Um, Three is Fall Guy. Two is Dune Part Two, and one is Monkey Man.
All right. We have a similar top five. So number one is Dune Part Two. Two is The Fall Guy. Three is Monkey Man. Four is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Five is Beekeeper. And then I have some honorable mentions at 6 through 8. So Challengers, Greatest Hits, and Love Lies Bleeding are all 6 through 8.
And I will see Challengers this week. If I were to guess, I think it's probably gonna be my number five.
I was in between putting Beekeeper Challengers, because they're ranked the same for me, but I was just like, which one would I prefer to rewatch? And I was like, come on, give me some Jason Statham action. So I put that a little higher.
I'm anticipating it'll be behind Ministry
Yeah,
and
Ministry for me is a little lower than yours.
I also was really like that's my kind of movie, to be fair.
No, hey, you got to do what you got to do, man.
Um, I'm guessing it's going to be between Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and Beekeeper, or Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare and Kingdom.
My Ministry for me is 9 on the year.
Okay.
All right.
What are our bottom five?
Let's see. I
How many
just closed
movies
it
have you
out. Here we
seen?
go. I've seen 21 this year
Oh, okay.
that
I'm
are
only
from
four behind you.
2024. All right, bottom five. At 17, I have Kung Fu Panda 4. At 18, I have Unfrosted. At 19, I have Argyle. 20, Madam Web. 21, Civil War.
So I've seen 17, 13 Kung Fu Panda 4, 14 ISS, 15 Madam Web, 16 Argyle, 17 Civil War. Civil
Yeah,
War did
Unfrosted.
well.
I know. It just wasn't for us. Look, sometimes things aren't for you. I
I
think
just
it
don't
wasn't
get
for
how it
us.
did well.
People like, hey, you know what I forgot came out this year already? Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Yeah,
We had a
yeah.
Ghostbusters movie we saw like a month ago and I forgot it existed, which is crazy.
Ricky Stenicki,
Oh my God.
Arthur the King.
Hey, of the two streaming comedies this year that I've seen, Ricky Stenicki is far better than the other one.
Yeah,
Unfrosted stinks.
I'll watch that. I'll watch that next week.
All right, well, back to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. What do you give Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes out of 100? I give it a 78.
Um, I'll give it a 73.
All right. So let's get into spoilers for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Number one, I I really loved the ending with May and this because I don't know if you thought this way, but I believed her when she said she might have found a cure inside of the safe or inside of that vault thing. So I was like, okay, so she's gonna get inside. It's gonna be like a cure of some kind, and maybe it'll help humanity. And then I thought Noah maybe would stop her.
You thought you'd
It was
stop her?
just a communi- It was. I thought maybe he would. It was just a communication thing so that other human tribes could talk to each other. Is basically to talk to the satellites.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty clear to me, at least, what they're setting up is a human ape war by the end of this trilogy. And I think what's going to happen is it's going to come back to Caesar's teaching, where humans are not going to work together very well, but apes together will. And so apes together strong, they're going to win. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty convinced of that.
Well, I mean, we know that the apes win.
No, I know the apes win, but I think that's going to be like the moral theme of it all is that like humanity should work together more, and when we don't, we fail, and that's going to be like the lesson of this.
I kind of like
Because
that.
I think that's the whole lesson of Planet of the Apes is that apes work together well when humans choose not to.
Yeah. All right,
Um,
I'm good.
I'm really bummed that Proximus Caesar is dead because I thought he
Why?
was a great character. I thought he was a great character.
Yeah, but I think he was a good character for one movie, for like a one movie antagonist.
I like how he walked too. He's like up tall. Proximus. That was sweet.
Like he was a good one movie antagonist. Like, I don't think
True, true. But like
I
I
was pretty.
Kobo was so great because he was set up, you know. So I
Yeah,
hope maybe they'll do a setup similar with one of his friends, because he has those two friends.
yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if what Silva wasn't one of the friends Silva.
I don't remember their names. I just, yeah. I was pretty bummed with like the ending when Caesar, or not Caesar, when Noah kills, what's his name, Proximus Caesar,
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
like this Proximus Caesar beat the shit out of Noah in front of Noah's entire clan, and no one did anything.
Well, I think that's part of it. The ape culture, though, is like that. There's like the respect of hierarchy. So like it's not your place to step in and help.
I suppose.
You know, I don't know. I did not mind it just because then it felt like Noah inspired all them to then join in and help. Because even the mom was helping at the end. Like she like called one of those birds to attack, which
Yeah.
was sweet. The birds were so cool.
Also, for all we know, Proximus Caesar could be alive.
He did hit the water, so it's possible, but
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I'm just saying it's possible.
It is possible.
Like if they brought him back, it wouldn't be like oh my god, he was dead, you know?
Yeah,
So,
I agree. I agree.
cool.
But no, I'm excited for this world to kind of continue. I'm excited for the apes to get a little more human-like as it goes along, because I think that they are pretty human, but I think they're gonna get more and more
Yeah.
human-like.
Agreed.
I do think by the time the next one starts, because the way this ends is like Noah and then the his female friend, who I forget her name, like go out into that city. I think they're gonna start to take back that city and like clean off some of the stuff and start living in those buildings.
You think?
I think so. That's at least the vibe I got was like at least maybe they'll take over part of the city and then start to kind of rule it again.
That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited to see it. I think that May could be a great antagonist as the series kind of progresses.
Yeah.
Especially her standing there with the gun at the end, maybe
Yeah,
gonna kill Noah. That was great.
yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for this. This was a big surprise for me. I thought this was gonna be fine. It being great, it was a big shock. But yeah.
Cool.
So looking ahead, we got If this week, which apparently is also incredible, which kind of
Yeah, I'm like
blows my
kind of
mind.
excited now.
Yeah, same. So I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna go Friday to see that, and then next week we have. I guess not next week. The following week we have Furiosa, which we'll have a guest on for, and Garfield, which you probably won't see, but apparently is also really good. So I don't know what's going on.
Cool.
But yeah, we're back. So that's about it. Um, Anything else?
Nope.
Cool. All right. Well, for Charles, I'm Hunter, and have a great week. See ya.